I was cleaning out behind my miter saw station and decided that I really didn't want to have to do that again for a long time because this table is kind of heavy and tough to move around, and there's not a lot of room back there because I use it for storage. So I have boxes and stuff that make it a little bit difficult to get a vacuum back there. Well, the way to fix that problem was to upgrade my dust collection from what I had out there previously, which was just this 4-inch big mouth dust hood. I had it on the left side of the blade because for some reason on this particular saw, this is a DeWalt 10-inch sliding compound miter saw, most of the dust shoots off to the left side, not so much to the right. This did a pretty good job, but didn't catch everything, and there was still always some dust building up behind the table. Every couple of months I'd have to go back there and clean, or maybe every year or three. It'd get into the garage door, it just made a mess, especially when the wind blew in water, when it was raining heavy, so something had to be done. Well, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I looked at some different designs online. That's the first thing you want to do if you're trying to come up with a new idea, is see what ideas are already out there, because that way you can build on it. And I saw a few different models that were looked pretty cool. So a lot of them were designed for 90-degree cuts, so they weren't really going to work for me, because if I do bevels or miters, that's going to ruin the fence or ruin the box or whatever you put on there. Some of them were also designed for non-sliding miter saws, so that means that they could be a little bit smaller. Just the overall design was different. And the ones that were built for sliding compound miter saws like this one, they usually had a big box built in the back, or a point on it, or a big curve or something. It took up a lot more depth than I wanted to use with this one, because again, I use it for storage back there, so I was hoping to have something pretty low profile. And the sensible way to do this was to prototype it out of cardboard. I had a box left over from a big screen TV I got earlier this year. And if you're not in the habit of saving cardboard in your workshop, it's a good idea, because it's really good for making rough templates or prototypes or patterns before you actually invest in the more expensive materials. I could have made this out of plywood, but I really didn't know what I wanted. And with the cardboard, you can set it up, break it down. You can make things shorter, you can make things longer, you can curve it pretty easily if you want to try out some funny ideas. So I think I have a pretty good design here right now. I posted an earlier version of this several weeks ago and got some good feedback in the comments and incorporated some of those ideas. I think now we can just pull this thing out for hopefully the last time in a long time and take a look at how everything is put together. Some of the changes over the previous design were replacing this 4-inch horizontal pipe in the back. This was okay, but it was a little bit too big, stuck out a little bit farther than I wanted, and most of the air current was happening on this opening over here, not so much on this side, so the dust was just sitting there. Not a big deal to vacuum it out, but it was easy enough to solve it by making the whole thing narrower against the body of the cabinet, and also by making it go downhill, so it had a little bit of an assist. And this is sticking out no more than 3 inches at any point, I think. And there is a 1/2-inch overhang on the top of the cabinet here, so that cuts into the space a little bit. I'm pretty sure I can take that down a little bit. The only real limitation is on the far end, which I guess isn't so much of a limitation because it's sticking out of the side of the cabinet. I'm using this 4-inch downspout adapter. Now this is intended like on the outside of the house to go at the bottom of a rain gutter downspout, to go into a piece of 4-inch corrugated pipe. All I did, there are some little tabs around the round part here, and I just cut those off with a chisel, and that makes a perfect connection to the dust collection hose. One minor issue I had to resolve from the first design was that the adjustment crank handle from my drill press table was bumping into the cabinet, so I needed to replace that. Only reason it was sticking out that far to begin with is that I built an extension crankshaft here out of some copper tubing. When I built the auxiliary table for the drill press, the crank was bumping into the bottom of the table, so I had to extend it a little bit farther. I just made a new crank out of some Baltic birch plywood and an ash wheel that I already had cut, so this gives me just enough room to adjust the table height when I'm feeling cranky, and that resolves the issue with the box width. One of the cool improvements of this design over the previous ones are the doors that I put here and here. These doors serve multiple benefits for dust collection. One is that by making this opening a little bit narrower, it causes more airflow to go this way into the dust collection system. So a lot of that fine particulate dust that would go up in the air into my face is now going to be sucked back into the area behind the saw. Another benefit is that I found when I was cutting miters to the left, like this one right here, a lot of the dust was deflecting off of the fence or just shooting to the outside of the box. And again, with this saw, a lot of the dust tends to shoot to the left. I didn't want to put anything out here that was going to interfere with the drill press. One thing I did to improve it was I just opened up my fence because a lot of the dust was just deflecting off of that. And the other thing was that I added a flap, or added the door and a flap to the bottom of the door so that I can just open it up like that, turn this little piece of cardboard right there, that'll hold it open. And then even if I'm cutting a thicker piece of wood, I can just set this on top of it and it'll adjust the height that way, and it'll block all of that dust that's flying off to the side. At least that's the idea. I haven't actually tested it yet. Because this is a sliding compound miter saw, I need room for the slider bars to get out past the back of the box. And what I had done first to keep the dust from shooting through this opening was I just used some duct tape and I cut some strips in it so that it was going to catch most of that dust. Worked out okay, but it wasn't great. The next thing that I switched to was a bottom of the door weather seal. And I got these from, I don't remember, Home Depot or Lowe's, and pretty good, but this is only 1 inch long here, and it was really just not enough distance to close over those slider rods. So the next option was to go to this, what you might find as a brush strip or a brush seal or a strip brush. And it's these are really intended for like a CNC router to go around the base. And I got a pretty long one here. I'll put a link to this down in the description. It works okay, but it's actually maybe a little bit more rigid than I wanted, or maybe I'm just, it's just because I'm using a cardboard box instead of plywood. So sometimes it feels a little bit difficult pushing the slider through there, but really not too bad. I think overall this is working okay. And you see what this does if I'm doing a left cut or a right cut. I always have some kind of coverage there so that the dust isn't shooting back through that opening. And doesn't really seem to get in the way. I think it'll be a lot better once I get it fastened a little bit more. For right now, it is literally just 3 screws holding it into this piece of cardboard, so that's really not bad. I think though, if you wanted to save the money on a brush strip, you could even just put a piece of fabric across there, like something good, maybe an old pair of jeans or something. Just cut some strips in it, and most of the dust is not going to hit this area anyway. And if you close up the front of the box, the air current is going to be pulling in a little bit through here as well. So that's going to stop most of your dust from going out through the back. This next part wasn't 100% necessary to get the dust box to work, but it certainly is going to help it work a little better. When I originally modified my dust collection system, I used a 4-inch elbow here, and on the inside, instead of the 5-inch that was the capacity of the system. I don't know why I did it. Maybe just because I only use 4-inch hose and I only connect to one tool at a time, so I just didn't think to go with a 5-inch here. Well, I fixed that. It wasn't too hard. I just cut out the old one and put 2 5-inch elbows on there, and that gave me the ability to connect the splitter that came with the dust collection system originally. So now I have my regular hose, which I can get the same capacity from if I cap off this end, and if I want to connect to the miter saw, all I have to do is remove that cap right there and put in this 2.5-inch hose that I picked up with a custom fitting that I made on the end there. This is just a couple pieces of Baltic birch plywood, and it was just a hair loose, so I put 1 wrap of electrical tape around there. I used hot glue to kind of stick it around in there, and that's going to hold up just fine. And then I can connect that to the dust collection system every time I want to use the miter saw. From the dust collection system, that hose just runs right through a hole in the side of the box. Now, if I were doing the final version of this, I would probably put something smoother on there, maybe some rounded over edges so that it could slide a little bit easier and not get caught. But so far, this is working out pretty well. I tried several different approaches before settling on this exact hose and this method of attachment. One of the first things I tried was just using some existing shop vac hoses that I had sitting around the shop. And one of the problems that was happening was that when I put the saw all the way back, they were bumping into the back of the box and pushing on it because they weren't quite flexible enough to make that turn. So I looked around for different parts and all the different hose fittings that I had sitting around. And the next thing I did was I put a piece of PVC on here, and I actually ordered a hose from Oneida, a 1.5-inch hose that fit perfectly onto this port. Pretty good quality hose, but I think it's more intended for heavy-duty use like a shop vac, because it also couldn't make the turn. And even with that 90-degree PVC angle on there, when I was turning the saw to the left, it just couldn't make the turn to exit the box, so that didn't work out either. So finally I found this 2.5-inch dust collection hose on the Rockler website. And this is definitely a larger diameter than is necessary for this saw, but I could not find a dust collection hose like this in 1.5-inch diameter, so this is what I had to use. To get it to fit, I just made another little plywood fitting there, and I cut one little slot in the end just to give it a little bit of expansion and contraction room to help it seal a little bit better. And once again, I just put it in there with hot glue. It's going to hold up just fine. That's not going to pull out of there. And it's snug enough in the opening here that it fits onto that port just right. Give it a little bit of a push, and it's not going anywhere. And now it doesn't matter which position I'm in when I'm making a cut. There's enough flexibility in that hose, and also it compresses pretty well, that it's not going to cause me any kind of an issue for left or right hand miters. I also wanted to add dust collection for my drill press, and I haven't figured that part out quite yet, but I think one thing that I might do is just put a hole in the side of the box and put a little fitting in there with the hose on the other side for the drill press, and then I can just disconnect this and connect it to the hose on the side whenever I want to use dust collection for the drill press instead. Now this is just a cardboard prototype, although I expect it's going to last me for a little while. But I used a small scrap of just some cut off 2x4 under here. I think it's actually more like a 1x at this point. And I hot glued it to the top, or the bottom of the top shelf, and I put a couple screws in the side. And that just provides enough stability there that if I wanted to set some small things on top of the miter saw, I could do that. Shh. Hold still. I think that covers all of the important features. Now let's see how this thing does with actually collecting dust. Let's see how we did with the dust collection here. I would say overall this is not bad. I mean, I'm always going to get a little bit in the front there, especially with a bunch of rapid cuts like that. That was 30 cuts, I think, 10 at 90 degrees, 10 at 45 to the left, and 10 at 45 to the right. A little bit of dust on the table, a little bit on the floor, not too bad. It looks like most of the buildup on the inside is on the left side, again, because it really shoots most of the dust off to the left. Over on the right there is less, but again, this is on the inside of the box, so I'm less concerned about that. It's more the places that I can't reach that I would be worried about. Now there is a little bit on the table outside here and a little bit back there, not very much. And I think the reason for that is because this thing doesn't go all the way down to the table. And truthfully, the reason it doesn't go all the way down is I had to start splicing pieces of cardboard together for several parts of this because I was running low. So I think to finish this thing properly and make that go all the way down, I am just going to have to go out and buy another TV. These are the sacrifices I'm going to need to make. But otherwise, everything seems to be holding up pretty well. Now, the most important area that I'm concerned about is back here. And I don't see any dust on the floor. So it looks like all of this did its job very well. And just one more look into the abyss in the back. Can't really see in there, but there's not a lot of dust built up in that channel. Looks like once it gets in there, it doesn't have a whole lot of trouble getting down to the bottom. So I would consider this a big success. Made a few mistakes in the process and bought a few parts that I didn't need, a few weather strips and some dust collection hose, but the whole idea is that I make these mistakes so that you don't have to. Hopefully this is going to simplify whatever you're trying to do. And very importantly, if you build something based on this, go ahead and post it down in the comments. If you do a video, if you do some pictures or whatever, I'd like to see what you built, especially if you can improve on this idea. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching and have fun.